everybody, welcome on in to the How Are You Getting On podcast, and I'm joined by the legendary man himself, handsome as ever, IrishGenesis. Genesis, how are you getting on?
How we doing? I'm fucking good. How are you getting on, lad?
I'm doing good. I've had a good day, keeping the vibes positive. I know I was saying last time, trying to keep everything in a good shape. So I started working out recently, Jenny. You know, I'm starting to get a workout routine in. Healthy body, healthy mind. I know you probably worked out a fair bit in your day. What do you do, Jenny, to keep a healthy body, healthy mind? What's your plan with that?
Healthy body, healthy mind.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Takeaways.
When I used to take care of myself. That's We're going back when I used to mind myself. Like, you know what I mean. I got to a stage where I was like, you know, I tell you what. Well, like, when you get into a serious relationship and you know that's it, like, you don't gotta try anymore. Basically.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, you know, fuck this. I'm just gonna get fat.
Yeah,
you know?
It's true, man. Honestly, like, I'm in a relationship like that now where I feel like I'm so comfortable that there's no pressure on me to like physically look good, apart from like my own want for it. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a weird area to be in, because it's like, you know, like I was in a place for years where, like, even in college I used to go to the gym and all, but like I'm not doing it just to get female attention. I was doing it just to kind of keep myself in good shape. But there's something about being in a comfortable relationship, man, where you just don't care and you're eating shite food all the time, and I don't know, man, it's just comfortable. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, no. Like, as I said, for me, like, obviously I have two chaps. I would say a mortgage, but you know what I mean by a mortgage. Two chaps, it's a mortgage, all that, as in, you know, it's everything's set in stone for me at this stage. So I'm kind of like, you know, what's the point in it? Like, you know, but if she ever said to me, listen, you're getting a bit heavy under the old skin there, you know.
Yeah.
Well, then I'd be like, all right, lads, listen, time to get back at it. But no, I still most mornings I still go out for a walk, like, just to clear the head for the day.
So good, man. Walks are brilliant, honestly. Even like I go out walking my dog, and if I'm not talking to herself on the phone, it's just like a good time just to reflect and clear your head, because like I do be stressing out. I'm always working, like, literally from the moment I get up till the stream, till even after the stream. So that's like a lovely little time for me to just clear my brain and actually get like clear thoughts in, you know.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, as I said, like, I get up in the mornings with the young lad for school, so it's like really early. You know, we're starting in the morning, like 7 a.m. So when I get him off to school, like, I'm sitting there and I have two choices. I could rather go for a walk or go get shit done, or sit at home and just watch telly. But I'm not arsed into that, like, so.
Yeah.
Especially in the mornings, like, you know, what are you gonna watch? Fucking Tipping Point or something, you know what I mean?
Man, Tipping Point's a banger, man. I tell you, if that's on the TV, me and Ashley are in there straight away, man. Go down in the middle.
I can't, like, I used, like, I watched it a few times, but I can't watch it anymore. Do you know why? Because it fucking irritates me when you can clearly see, you know, where they need to drop the fucking coin. You know, it's like they dropped the big coin, right? And you've got slot 3 and 4, right? They picked 4 starting, but because it got hit a certain way, it's actually more chance going in 3, like, if you get the right hand side.
Yeah.
But they're still, give me 4. And you're like, pick 3, you dumb bastard. There's a big stack of them there, like, you know.
They always do that, though. They stick to their guns. They pick one side and they'll constantly stick with it the whole way through unless it gets them something. But yeah, it's
irritating.
Yeah, there's a lot of shows like that on TV. But anyways,
I want to just spin the wheel real quick here.
Okay, yes. Okay, so we'll announce this right now for anybody listening in. We were giving away a Just Eat voucher over on our Twitter. If you're not following already, guys, it's a Howya podcast over on Twitter. And of course, if you want to listen in on any platforms, we're on Google Podcasts, we're on Spotify, and we're on YouTube. Genesis, can you pick a winner for our Just Eat voucher? And how much are we giving away?
It's a €25 Just Eat voucher.
Ooh,
so
tasty.
Let's see who takes it home. We'll spin her up. Here we go. She's off.
All right. And who's taking it home?
And slowing down. She's slowing down. We're coming up. It is going to Minty FN.
Minty, FN, bro. Minty, well done, Minty. You have won our €25 Just Eat. Now, you won't be able to buy V-Bucks with that, but you'll be able to get yourself some food, maybe for your family as well. So well done, Minty. Congratulations. Had to go to somebody with Fortnite. Love that. Anyways, so Jenny, thank you for that. But let's get into the topics this week. So, big news recently over the last couple of days, man. A lot of people coming into my chat talking about it, and it's kind of spread outside of sport. Is the whole Novak Djokovic being sent home and being banned from Australia for 3 years Now, this is because he didn't have the vaccine. What's your opinion on this whole situation, Jenny?
So, like, for me, I feel it's a bit. I don't know. It's hard to come by, is in a sense where you got to look at it from everyone's side of things. Australia obviously are very hard on the lockdown, as in like they're a lot firmer than a lot of other countries, a lot more stricter than other countries.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like at the end of the day, with the vaccine, I feel like it's no longer. At the start of it, it was optional. It was a choice. Now it still states it's optional and a choice. Okay, but I realistically, like, when you see the likes of Novak and what he's gone through and all and what's going on, it's more. It looks like he's being forced, to take a vaccine, to play tennis and play in Australia and so on and so forth. Like, at the end of the day, if he's his beliefs and his rights, everyone has their own you have your own human rights. If he feels like, no, this isn't I don't want it, it isn't for me, I don't know enough about it, I don't trust this, so on and so forth. Do you know what I mean? Like, so, but then there's so much behind it. Do you know what I mean? There's so much that's came out about it as well, like where apparently he was saying certain stuff to one media and then he was saying other things to a journalist, and like nobody really knows the actual true decision behind it, in a sense. Like, what is he like? For all we know, he could have got one jab maybe or something. He could have got one vax and didn't get a second or a third or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's more to meet the eye here. I feel like Australia are doing that based off this. That's their law now. It's basically there's no give or take with it. It's like over here, certain places, if you're not vaxxed, you're not allowed in, and it's simple as that. I definitely feel though there has to be a solution to around the fact if someone doesn't want to get vaxxed or not. You know what I mean? Because regardless if you're vaxxed or not, okay, it's for your own personal safety and your own personal well-being. Even if you're vaxxed, you could still get corona and pass it on.
Yeah.
So there's there's technically no difference. Like, as I said, like, I could get corona, I could get vaxxed. I'm fully vaxxed from tomorrow evening.
Yeah.
I could go get vaxxed, Chris, yeah? And next week when I want to go for a pint in the pub, I could go to the pub. I could have COVID without even knowing, right? I get fucking no symptoms, yeah? I go into the pub, start talking to Tom, Dick, and Harry, having pints, and the next thing you know, I'm passing COVID around the place. That's no difference than Novak not being vaccinated, and so on and so forth. It's just about people taking their own precautionary measures around them. Like, nobody has to be hugging them and shit in the tournaments.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No, I get what you're saying. I think there's a couple of factors in here, though. I mean, apart from the whole basic right of wanting to take the vaccine or not, we'll step away from that for 2 seconds. We'll come back to it shortly, though. But obviously, like, to be able to be in the position that he was in, being in Australia and being in, like, obviously tennis events and whatnot, there obviously was some sort of deception involved, because obviously there is standards to, saying you need to be this and that for even getting into a country, and obviously about being vaccinated. And now how they found out that he wasn't, I don't know the exact circumstance of it, but Australia was one of these countries, I believe, and I could be mistaken here, but I'm pretty sure it was Australia or New Zealand that was one of these first countries that actually properly policed COVID and how it actually works.
Australia.
It was Australia, yeah. I remember seeing that on the news, and I was like, fair play. So I get where they're coming from, being strict, because they've done so well with how they've approached it, but I would have thought if anything, you'd see someone like Novak here being like an international superstar, given a bit of leeway in it, considering he's in a competition and whatnot. But like at the same time, like it's obviously like there's some laws to it and stuff like this as well. It's a bit of a mad one. But going back to what you said about just your basic rights about the vaccine, what you're saying is true. Like, obviously you can pass the vaccine on, or sorry, not the vaccine. You can pass COVID on whether you have the vaccine or not. So I get what you're saying. I feel like if he's an athlete and he's already competing and he's in good shape, clearly, there's not really a whole lot to be worrying about, because he could carry it same as anybody else could carry it, even if they did have the vaccine or a booster. So technically what you're saying is right. So it really is the question, like, are Australia going a bit overboard with it? Is it being handled correctly? And or is Novak in the wrong for whatever deception that he caused with it? And obviously
Well, if he obviously, you have to look into the part where, like, when it was all going on and unfolding, if he did lie to get into the event, then I can understand from somewhat where everyone would be coming from, in a sense,
Yeah.
But to just ban him and just push it out, like it's not even that. It's a bad look on tennis. It's not good for the competition having someone of his caliber and not being involved in the tournament.
Yeah.
So like, the way I gotta look at it as well is that I always say is that if that was another tennis player, say Andy Murray, would have been the same thing. I don't think it would have.
You think so? You think that there's some element there of kind of picking and choosing who they're kind of making a show of?
Yeah, I honestly believe if that was the likes of if that was the likes of Murray, I don't think that would have happened. Now, and that's just my obviously personal opinion on it, but there's always like it's just I don't know. I just think they dealt with it and treated him very, very wrong in that sense,
Yeah. Now I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Exactly what the whole like obviously it came to the public very quickly. Now I don't know who brought this out. Whether it was Novak himself or if no matter what way it was dealt with, but it got to the public so quick, and it definitely was a media driven story very quickly. Now obviously, like I'm sure that there's obviously legalities and stuff that they obviously had to be public with some of it, but yeah, it just like you were saying about it being handled not the right way. You think for somebody on the level of Novak Djokovic, something like this could have been handled it's somewhat better, where both parties are, somewhat content with a decision or leeway. But Australia, like I see some people in chat even saying it, maybe making an example out of Novak in a way, just so you know what I mean? Just to, I don't know what they're trying to prove or what they're trying to do, but it seems very, very strict.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. As I said, I just think they went a bit hard on it. Like it was just, for me at the end of the day, whether he was vaxxed or not shouldn't affect him being allowed to play in the tournament. He should do the exact same thing as everybody else would do. If you're going to tend to do your PCR test, if it comes up negative, he can play in an event. If it comes up positive, he can't play in the event. It would have been that simple.
Yeah.
That's what I like. Like, not every sport and person in the world is vaccinated, but they're still able to play the game they love, and it shouldn't matter as well the fact that what country you're in. Every country has got different laws in certain senses, but when it comes to COVID, it should all be the same worldwide. There should be no, well, this country you can do this, and this country you can do that.
Yeah.
It should be the same rules all around, because, like, at the end of the day, there's people that travel, even if they're not a sporting personality, if they're a journalist or so on and so forth, and like. It's just, for me, you shouldn't go to different countries with different sets of rules,
Yeah.
That's my outtake on it,
Yeah.
I don't judge a person whether they're vaxxed or not vaxxed. I don't really care. It's their personal choice. If I'm vaccinated, grand, I'm vaxxed, I'm protected to get past if I ever do catch it, so on and so forward,
Yeah.
That's my personal choice.
Yeah. I feel like if this happened at the start of COVID, when everything shit was hitting the fan, it would have been accepted a lot more, because that was at a stage where people were scared and frightened, and we didn't have the full statistics to say, oh, this is, this age group is affected and this age is okay, that kind of stuff. I was kind of wild at the start, but since this has happened at a point now where COVID's it's as common as a cold nowadays, man. I people coming into my chat, like I always say this to chat, people come in at the start of COVID, and they were like, man, I got COVID, or my family got COVID, and I'm like, oh man, I feel bad for you, holy shit, I hope you're doing okay, and I genuinely feel for them. But now when people get COVID, it's like okay, like, yeah, everybody has it. It's so common.
Yeah, it's like, but like, so the way you gotta look at it is that a lot of people claim to know a lot more about COVID than they actually do, in a sense.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I don't know if anyone's noticed. I noticed straight away. Coming up to Christmas, all you heard was about like major stuff was COVID. Now that we're in January, you hear about it every now and again, but you don't hear about it as much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, the fact that when the Omicron variant came out, nobody claimed Delta. It was like Delta had just got a plane and flew the fuck to Mars. Nobody had the Delta version anymore. It was all Omicron. I had the Omicron version. How do you know? Just because you do a little €5 test at home and it comes up to positive, which them things are as big as bullshit as well, by the way.
They're very hit and miss.
I'd let you know.
Yeah.
Literally, I've seen boys pouring orange juice on them, it comes up positive. I've seen boys putting them under their tap water, it came up positive. I'm not even joking. I've literally seen videos of people doing it, where they got a test out of the box, put it on the counter, poured orange juice on it, and 5 minutes later comes up and says, you have COVID.
Orange juice
So
has
the,
Omicron,
so
yeah.
so the orange juice has Omicron as well. All right, everyone, like, so them €5 tests that you're buying out of Aldi's or Lidl's or fucking Apple garages now, they don't work. They're bullshit. They're literally, it's just all waffle with them little things. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
even like the standard procedure for them is to get like 2 or 3 of them just to make sure, and that kind of explains it really all in itself. You know that you need to get a couple of them to even make sure, and you're playing like an odds number game. But no, I get what you're saying, man. It's just
It's
yeah,
it is as I said, the the only time, first of all, if you're young and healthy, you should not be. If you get COVID, you have nothing to worry about. It will not affect. It won't affect you in the ways that you think it will. Now, is it serious for certain people? Yes, 100%.
yeah,
Anyone with respiratory issues, anyone that has underlying illnesses, especially if you go into the elder stages, if you're like
yeah,
40, I think it's 40 something and above, yes, it can have its toll because your body and your immune system is not built the same way as you are when you're young. But if you're literally a young lad who goes football 3 times a week and you're fucking constantly active with your friends and you just live a healthy style, you drink water or whatever, you eat fruits and veggies, you haven't got a fucking thing to worry about. You
yeah,
will be grand. But obviously, at the end of the day, there is people out there that do get it, and that is the biggest fear factor when it's someone that actually can suffer from it.
yeah,
As I said, of the reasons I've stated. So, because I'm only saying this is because I don't want anyone that may be listening to get offended, thinking that we think it's a joke and that everyone has it, that we're only messing with it. We understand clearly. But the
yeah,
thing, what we're trying to state also is that people need to stop using that as kind of like a trend as well, because you don't know who you're affecting by you coming into someone's chat. As in, say someone comes into your chat gallery and
yeah.
says, "Oh, I got COVID. It's a load of shit. Don't feel nothing." But then you have someone in there that lost their mother, father, granny, granddad to it,
Yeah,
and take it more serious level. So you can look at the both sides of it. You know what I mean? That's the way I
yeah,
look at it.
yeah. I feel like it definitely COVID's something that is really, depending on how like your close friends and your family are, depends on kind of how seriously you take it. For example, like my girlfriend Ashling, she has asthma and respiratory problems, so I was super safe about like seeing her and stuff, and making
Yeah,
sure that I wasn't infected, because obviously then she's one of these people that if she got it, then she'd be in a bad way. So I feel like, yeah,
100%.
if you have a very positive, not positive, but if you're very kind of healthy and young family, you're not going to be as worried about it, especially if you get it when you're young. Any people that get
Yeah,
COVID when they're like, under the age of 20 or even 30, I mean, if you don't have any problems, like Jenny said, underlying health problems or anything, you're not going to really bat an eyelid over it. Now, obviously COVID at the start had a couple of effects, but most people that come into my chat nowadays, if they do get this Omicron variant or whatever, they're like, oh yeah, I don't really feel anything. But
mhm,
it's not to say that it's not serious on different sides to it. But yeah, just
yeah.
all in all, so Jenny, here's the question then: with Novak Djokovic in this whole situation, so you think it could have been handled better? Is that kind of your mindset on it?
Yeah, I definitely feel like at the end of the day, if he lied on his applications and all whatever it was, okay, then I understand the fury that would come from the Australian board, because if
Yeah,
something like that was to get out in the media, then Australia would be kind of criticized and looked at as if, well, they probably knew about it. They allowed him into the country
yeah,
knowing he lied, and it could turn into a big thing. If not, in the case be that he didn't do anything wrong in that sense, and they just do that, I feel like it's very, very harsh. As I said, there's other alternatives, Chris, for sports people like Novak to be
yeah,
able to play in events, taking these PCR tests to see if he has it, he can't play. But if he hasn't, let him play. He doesn't have to. He doesn't go near the crowd. We've all seen tennis events. Anyone that watches him even on
yeah,
telly, the crowd is a very good distance away from the court. Okay, the player that he's playing against is the only person that he would even get within 6 feet. But that's the case being not really, because the only time you ever see tennis players getting close together is at the end of the game when they shake
yeah,
hands.
yeah. It's true.
Even when at a break, you see tennis players, they have two different seating spots where the umpire sits. They're on both sides. Now, if you really want to take COVID measures, just move them spots out to either end of the court instead of in the center. And that's it's there's so many ways around it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
Uh, the,
I agree with you.
and people may say, okay, the ball itself. What if the handball, what's it called? The ball boy throws the ball to him. Novak throws it back to him, and he passes it that way. I'm sure if you own millions of dollars worth of fucking events, you can buy unlimited balls where you can just change ball each time. There's ways around it, to everything. So for me, I felt like it was harsh.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I definitely agree that, you know, in the circumstances that he is a superstar and he's playing an event and people come to watch him play and all that, there's definitely more at stake than just your average Joe. But you know, then again, I'm sure there's a lot of different factors, like you're saying, about possibly being deceptive on his applications coming into the country, and even, you know, what he has been doing. Let's say if he did have COVID, or if he did have this and that, it's kind of hearsay.
Yeah.
But be interested in seeing what happens with the whole situation. Well,
I think he'll scrap. I think he'll scrap it. I think he'll never play in the Australian Open again.
Well, he's banned for 3 years from the country,
Yeah.
so I
But
mean,
even in the case being like, if after that term he still plays tennis, I actually can see him refusing to play in the Australian Open for this. But anyway, got to chat.
B. Feenan said, I mean, it's their rules. As extreme as they are, it is their rules. They would have had to do the same for any other person, so they couldn't twist the rules solely for the fact he's a sports personality. I don't agree with the rules in Australia, but unfortunately rules are in that case. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's it is a good point just about the whole fact. It is like international rules for them, essentially. As anybody coming into the country has to abide by them. And like we were saying already, you know, they did have, they were on top of the game for security and how they kind of went through the whole COVID situation. So, you know, I suppose in a way, like, they probably had a lot of that's already set in stone well before Novak came into the country, well before this tournament. So I suppose it is some leeway towards them in a way that, you know, they can't really twist it for a celebrity. But then again, if they did twist it for a celebrity, you know, no one would really bat an eyelid, I suppose, would they?
Well, no, like if it's, especially like if it's a sporting event, like, you know, and people are there because they want to see that person themselves, like, you know, I don't think they're going to look too deep into the whole fact of, like, you know, oh, would you do this for an everyday Joe, so to speak.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, as I said, like, what they've done now though does put a stamp print on any sort of connection with sporting events in Australia. You know, letting people know for the future now that if you're a sport, even if you're a big figure or a personality, that's it.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Yeah, you got to be very, very careful with them. But yeah, listen, on to the next topic is big week for the NFL. Now, Jenny, this is a lot of your take, so I'm going to take your complete lead here with all this, because I'm new to this whole NFL thing. I was saying already earlier in the year, I was like, man, I'd love to give it a go, but I've never fully committed to it yet. We had some things like wild cards happening right now, Jenny, and a few mad matchups. So do you want to tell everybody at home what's going on in the old NFL?
Yeah, so the NFL right now is getting closer and closer. Obviously, the Super Bowl is in the start of February.
Yeah.
So it's getting closer to the point now where it's really going to get interesting. Obviously, we had the Bengals, who have literally never won a playoff game. Like 31 years, I think, was the way for them to win a game.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, but they bet the Raiders of all people, like, as well. Like, so it was a huge win for them. Obviously, Kansas had an absolute stormer of a game, and so did the Bills, and they play each other next. Now it's getting really in depth, because there's a couple of people like saying that if the likes of Kansas City, who I think personally can go the whole way, they're in a place now where people are saying the Rams, if they have the same start they did against the Patriots, they do that against the Rams, they're going to get hammered. There's a lot of take on it. Obviously, the next games are a turnaround for it, and then they have their own conferences and all. So it's a layout of totally different stories, but obviously the talking news is the Bengals, after 31 years, finally.
Yeah, that's
win the playoff.
That's a ridiculous amount of years. To be honest, the way you're describing it as well, you're saying, like, obviously with this year, there's definitely a bit more kind of mad results and kind of fixtures going on. I'd be more inclined to watch it. For anybody like me who listens to you right now and they're like, okay, that sounds okay, why should people watch the NFL? Like, what's the big take on it? Like,
for me, it's like, when I first started watching it, I was like more so kind of learning about it and getting the buzz about it. This is a good few years back. I actually got into it more so from actually playing with American boys on COD.
Yeah.
Like years ago, because they used to be always talking about it.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give this a bang, like, you know, because I pay for Sky Sports. Why not? It's on the fucking thing. I'll give it a lash.
Yeah.
It's just there's so much hype behind it, Chris, because it's an exciting sport. You're always on the edge of your seat for it, because no matter where it is on the pitch, Like, there's certain parts where, like, even football, if they're 9 out of 10 times, if they're over their half, there's nothing's gonna happen of it. Like, they're not gonna shoot from there. But you've
Yeah.
got boys that can throw that ball like down 70, 80 yards downfield, like, and seeing a guy catch it with one fucking hand for a touchdown. Now, it's just a hype, bro. There's so much hype behind
Yeah.
it. I like, my main thing I love about it is the simple fact that the the brains in all of it, like the amount of, like, in football, like, it's totally different. You got your, go out there, lads, cover this guy, play the ball in the middle of the park, whatever. But when you watch the NFL, like, there's so many different plays, strategies, breakdowns.
Yeah.
It's just, there's so much to it. So you're always kept thinking, or you're always
Yeah.
kept, like, active on it. The only thing obviously I can't stand about it is the halftime talk shows, because obviously it's very hard to enjoy when they've got guys coming on and they're like, "Get go, you can get this," da, 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 and they're,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just the ads are
Yeah,
fairly.
that's the side I was gonna come from, because now, like, obviously I watched a Super Bowl or two. I have indeed. Now, bear in mind, I may not have known what the fuck was going on half the time, but I like what you're saying though about the tactics as well, and it's why the coaches and all, they literally have microphones and stuff that they're fucking talking to their teams, and they're getting everything ready. It's a very tactical game, even though it looks kind of brute on the outside. Similar to obviously rugby in a way, but there's a lot of tactics and a lot of stuff behind it. But now, anytime I've seen a fucking Super Bowl, man, by Jesus, or even I don't even know if it's just American football, but the boys have ads every 2 fucking seconds, man. Honestly, somebody would fart and they play an ad for fucking Gecko Insurance or something. I don't know what's going on.
It is, no, but that's down to the downs themselves. Like, so you got 4 downs before the ball gets turned over. Right, so that basically means you have 4 chances to get the ball to a certain distance of yardage before, obviously, they get the ball turns over.
Yeah.
90% teams, well, good teams will usually go for a nice play on 4th down. Most teams go for the punt, which means they want to send it back down the field and give them boys to go at it. But for me, like, as you were saying about coaches, like, they literally, with the NFL though as well, man, is that you have your main coach, but you also have your defensive and your offensive guys. So coaches as well. So they take care of their own sectors. So, the main coach obviously will give these guys, this and this, but 90% of the time, them 2 bios are going to be the main. The main coach gets the praise, but the 2 boys that are on the offensive, defensive, they're actually the guys that are getting you over the line. They're the guys that are coming up with these next level ideas. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
But for me, as I said, like, a lot of American people I'm talking to, or that I know, have said the Rams. But for me, Mahomes and Kansas is just, they're just different. They're just different. The Chiefs are just different. Like, I love watching them. They're so fucking good.
Yeah. Now, I think even after just talking to you about this, I'm definitely going to try tune into it more, especially with the Super Bowl coming up very shortly. And I think it's one of these experiences as well, of any American sports. Now, I know some of you in chat may watch the UFC or even boxing or whatever, but the Super Bowl has a different kind of scent about it. It's just a bigger event. It's bigger than the NFL itself nearly in a way, because everybody knows about it. So I'll definitely I want to get more involved in it and kind of see what the whole crack is. I mean, back in the day, like when I was in college, I played a bit of Madden, and that would have been like the maximum capacity for me. Like, I don't even know what you told me right now. That's new information about they're having 3 coaches. That's fucking completely new news to me, man. I had no idea.
Yeah. So that's the thing though. Like, because like, at the end of the day, like, with football, you've got the 11 players. Like, but with the NFL, man, there's so many players. There's so much happening at the same time, and literally they have like, so basically they have timers as well. So when you're in the possession of the ball, like, you have a certain amount of time to release that ball and do something with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, it is crazy in a sense, like, as well. Like, 'cause I just love it as in a sense as well. Like, where with football you have to wait the last second, but then if you're ahead by a certain amount and there's, like, still got a good bit of time on the timer, under a minute, these boys just take the knee on certain amount of downs just to kill the time, and it's a guarantee. You've won before even all the time is out. Like, it's just, there's so much to it. But, like, as I said, just watching these boys coming up with these crazy ass plays, and the actual skill it takes for someone to be able to, like, pinpoint a pass from 70, 80 yards with your fucking hand, like, on a fucking ball. Like, it just amazes me. It fucking amazes me how they do that shit. Like.
No, I agree. It is a pretty crazy skill. I was going to compare it to football in a way, but that's what I was going to ask you next, is just in comparison, like, to other sports. why do you think the NFL is actually like decent? Because even in Ireland at home here, we have our own Gaelic football, we have hurling, obviously we got football, or soccer, whatever you want to call it, and a bunch of other sports, even basketball, NBA, which is fucking huge. Why do you think, actually not why do you, where would you rank the NFL for you in regards to sports that you feel are enjoyable to watch? Yeah.
For myself, I'm definitely putting it in my top 3. I'm 100% putting it in my top 3. For me, I'm probably going down the route of football, combat sports as in UFC, boxing, and then I'd put the NFL in third.
Yeah.
I put ahead, like, I love golf and snooker, but I put it ahead of them as well. It's like, even if you don't like the game itself, you gotta appreciate the fucking effort and the actual what it takes to be an NFL superstar. Like, their physique is just ridiculous.
Yeah, the boys are
what
built
they
like
put
bricks.
their bodies through.
Yeah.
What they put their bodies through, man, is next level. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many other there's some other things I'd watch I wouldn't class as sports in a sense, but I don't want to say that because of my obsessive people. But there's some things I watch.
Name one or two of them. Go on. Name one or two of them that you wouldn't consider a sport, just for the sake of argument here.
Right. Well, like, obviously it's something you could do, but for me, the likes of like swimming.
Oh,
I don't class as a
Jesus.
sport.
Holy, okay. We're going big. We're going big here. Swimming's not a sport. All right, Jenny, tell me why. Tell me why.
I just list at the end of the day, lad, any of us can get into a pool and swim up and down. Like, I'm sorry, it's just, it's not, it's just, no.
Can anybody not get on a pitch and kick a ball, though? Is that at the same logic, Jenny? What do you
No, because, listen, if you suck at swimming, you drown and die. If you suck at football, you just suck. That's it.
What's that? Well, so you're saying because you can die in a swimming pool, it's not a sport because you just fucking drown. That's some fucking take, Jenny. Jesus Christ. That's the best take I've heard all fucking month. Jesus Christ. Holy moly.
It's simple logic, though.
Right,
Not like, if you suck at football, you just, you're on the pitch, you're shit. But if you suck at swimming, you're fucked, mate. You're drowning.
All right. So that's the term, but if you can die, lads, it's not a fucking sport, man. You're just gonna drown, right? You can drown. So what other sport, Jenny, can you die in? Is you gonna say darts if you get hit in a dart on the side of the head? Is that what you're gonna say next?
That was my other one.
How do you die in darts, Jenny? How do you die?
No, I'm not saying you die in darts. I'm saying I don't class darts as a sport, man. I'm sorry, but listen, how darts all began, right, was a rake of boys going to the pub, getting sloshed, putting £5 into a pint glass, right, and started throwing fucking these sharp objects at a board for money. That's how darts started. Like, that's not a sport, bro.
Oh,
darts
God.
is not a sport. Darts isn't a sport. I don't class darts as a sport. Listen, if you're good at darts, you're good at darts. I've been there. But at the end of the day, man, if someone said to me, like, if I kept throwing darts, like, I've won trophies and I've done all my bits in darts. Now, if I went on to play in the big ones, yeah, and someone said to me, "Oh, you're a sporting legend," I'd laugh at them. I'm sorry, lad, but there's no fitness in darts whatsoever either. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. All you know is this, like, it's all about hand-eye coordination. For me, swimming and darts is not. I don't class them as sports.
So here's my take on what you're saying. So swimming, for me, that's a fucking hot take, Jenny. I don't even know where to start with that swimming one. But I'll go to the darts one because I feel like this is one I can find common ground on here. I've said this to chat before now, and a couple of people got offended. But listen, just my opinion. I think there's a big difference between sports and skilled games. I feel like there's a clear fine line there. Now I'm gonna name a few, and you're probably gonna shit on me. But the likes of like pool or snooker, darts.
No, it's not sport.
Games where you don't need physicality.
Fitness. Yeah, you don't need fitness and physicality. It's not a sport. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, swimming, you do need fitness and stuff, yeah, because, but as my logic was...
You're drowned, boys, lads. It doesn't matter, lads. You're drowned, so focus.
My logic is, right, is that, like, I'm sorry, but any Tom, Dick, or Harry can fucking get into a pool, You could be fucking... It doesn't matter how big you are, you can get into a pool. But if you're 40 fucking stone, yeah, you're not going to be running right wing for Man City. That's all I'm going to say, alright?
Yeah, but you don't see professional swimmers being built like fucking big bastard. You don't see Michelin men swimming.
No, the fact, like, I don't know. Who can fucking get down that pool the fastest? No, like, I just know. No.
Oh my god. So,
You know what I mean?
so here's the question: is it due to the fact that you feel like it's more skill than fitness? Is that where you're coming from?
What,
In
swimming?
reality, yeah. Like
I just reckon some people just can swim faster because they practice like swimming faster. But
but
like
it's not,
I don't
it's
know.
not what sports is though. It's just practicing.
Ah, I don't know. I just don't like swimming.
I don't like. That's it there, Jenny. You know, all the logic aside, I just don't like fucking swimming, Gar. I don't give a fuck. I just don't like swimming. There you go, lads. Jenny doesn't like swimming. Put it on a fucking poster, lads. Put it up on the wall there. But no, with the darts. Going back to the darts, right? I actually agree with you there. I really agree with you. I feel like skilled games, like I put chess, darts, pool and snooker, fucking I don't even know what other
Oh, the other one, polo.
polo.
Isn't that the one where they ride the horses? The horse does all the work and gets no credit.
Is that
Is
fucking,
is that isn't it? Is that what it is? Polo.
Polo
Very
is
short.
yeah, polo is yeah. It's all horses. It's all horses. You have a stick.
Yeah. The boys on the fucking thing with the stick get all the credit. The poor horse is fucking dead after the whole fucking game.
Fuck's sake, man.
You know, no, it's true. A racing horse gets more credit than a polo horse does. A polo horse is a sport. Don't even get me started. Horse racing is a sport. That's just fucking. That's animal torture. That's totally different.
No, I agree. I don't put that in a sport bracket at all. But yeah, no, I feel like it's a good topic, to be honest. The whole kind of skilled games in sports, because, like you said, I feel like there's two categories for me. Now I know this defeats your logic with swimming, but we're gonna step away from that for a minute. It is with sports. I feel like you need to have fitness and physicality in your sport, in your own field. I feel like two of those factors need to be. Now that could be stamina in fitness, like physicality obviously could come into your your muscle groups. For example, in sport, people have fucking muscly legs or whatever that helps them with football and yada yada yada. But I feel like for me those two things are big. I see some people in chat as well though talking about F1. Where do you place F1? Do you place it as a sport or a skill game?
I love F1.
So it's a sport,
F1.
is it?
F1.
I love it, boys. It's a sport for me, lads.
It's definitely a sport, like, because
you think it's a sport, not a skill game, really?
Yeah, like, you know, like obviously, like you have to be a very skilled driver, but the whole concept of like it's not just about the guy in the car; it's about your team and how they do on pit stops and all as well. That defines the difference between you finish first and second.
So then,
like, I definitely class F1 as a sport. Yeah, 100%.
So okay, so then, but here's my question: who's running faster, Michael Phelps or Lewis Hamilton?
Running.
Yeah.
That Michael Phelps is a swimmer, and
no,
Lewis
but
Hamilton's
I'm saying the physicality of him. He's fucking huge, man. His leg muscles are like through this fucking roof.
Oh, Lewis, man.
You think Lewis would beat him in a race?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So okay. So are you trying to say that Lewis Hamilton would have better physicality than Michael Phelps?
Put it this way, right? Lewis Hamilton, right, was able to pull Nicole Scherzinger. My right?
Get out with you.
My man can do more than run, let me tell you.
I don't even know what to say. That's fucking gas, man. Oh, he pulled the Nicole Scherzinger, but he fucked the whole thing, lads. He pulled the Nicole Scherzinger. That's a sport for me, boy. Oh, holy shit. To be fair, it is a fucking funny topic. Listen, we'll go to chat. What's your whole opinions on the whole thing? About NFL, about just sports in general. What are we saying? F1 drivers are the fittest people on the planet, says Bloomy. Now, to be honest, it could be my own shitty knowledge, Jenny, about F1 drivers. And now I know obviously they got to keep in somewhat shape, because if they're fat, they're not going to fit in the fucking cars, are they? But is there a lot of like fitness involved there, Jenny, with the whole F1? At least of your knowledge.
Their main thing is actually like treadmills. Their main thing is running, because their oxygen, like them running and keeping, like, you know, when you're out breathing, that's the same in their F1 cars, because them fucking F1, like, the lack of oxygen, obviously they have oxygen coming through the car tank, you know, so and so. But that's their main thing, is treadmills, like constantly on a fucking oxygen machine. You ever see fucking Anthony Joshua when he had the big mass thing on, or Ronaldo on the
yeah.
That's their main thing, like, is they have like they run to get their to keep their oxygen levels up and like constantly like that, yeah, because they're sitting in the car constantly and it's so flat out, so warm. That's how it is.
Okay. No, that's fair. That's fair. Like, obviously, there's definitely sides to it that a lot of us don't know when it comes to like the whole physical side of it that you wouldn't potentially see on paper. Murray Dubs asks, this is definitely for you, Jenny. So how does a jockey versus a driver differ?
How does a jockey versus driver differ?
Yeah.
Because the car has to be put, like, you have to drive the car. Like, you give the horse one tap by and he's fucking gone. You know what I mean? He is just gone. And there's no stopping that horse. One slap on the arse and the horse is gone. Three miles, no problem. Around Kettering, up over the fences. The only thing they do to stop pull on the fucking reins, like,
So yeah,
but if you slap a horse, did you ever see the races, sure, where the boys are fucking, the jockeys and he baiting the back off the horse, right? And they're flat out. Next thing, the fucking reins come off and he loses his whip and the whole job. He can't stop the fucking horse.
I see. Murray has replied here straight away. He says, "So why don't the horse just run without them?" Now I'm going to intervene here with this one, and I'm going to say, is that not what literally what greyhound racing is, just without the horses? So obviously horses horses don't run. Yeah,
no, horses are more tick than dogs, though.
No, I get that, and obviously they're all meant to run after, but potentially they could do the same job, though, technically speaking.
I don't know, because because you see the loose horse going around the entire track. Now you might sway off side to side, but you just gotta block the cunt in. Don't have them gaps.
Don't have them gaps. Metal walls when horses running.
Just block out. No, but like the only time you ever see a stray horse going off course is when he's decided to fuck off down the left hand lane there to get himself a cup of coffee out of one of them vans. That's the only time. But the other way you gotta look at it, like, is that, like, with the horse, with the horse, like the horse and the jockey himself, the only thing the jockey pulls on the reins, to give him the left, and pulls on the right to give him the right, like, and gives him the whip to make him go faster. But I've seen jockeys win races without a whip.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, and like I see what you're saying as well about the whole horses doing the work there. And I see Murray as well talking about like how the horses do all the work, but so does the car. But I suppose it's really the question of, like, and obviously it's not my here to say about what's a sport and what's not, but the higher skilled game between controlling a horse and controlling a car.
But like, Chris, if you put an F1 car on the starting grid, and put a horse on the starting grid, right? Go up to the back of the horse and smack it on the arse. Go up to the back of the F1 car and smack it on the arse. Which is gonna win the race?
Are you fucking?
Which is gonna win the race? The fucking horse.
So listen, it's all about the smack on the arse test, boys. That's the real running factor here.
It's the logic.
The arse smack test, boys. Oh my god, I'm fucking crying. I want to be able to get to the next thing, man. We're gonna be up late. Oh my god. Right, listen. We'll move on to the next one. Thank you, chat, for your questions. We appreciate them. Of course, all your questions that are asked, a lot of them will be featured in the actual podcast, guys. So make sure to listen if you want to hear your questions back. On to the next one. Now, this is a big topic. All football fans, I hope you're listening in, because this was really interesting for me. Even as a City fan, to hear this was quite interesting. About Ronaldo and how outspoken he is about United and the team's mindset. Now, he was in an interview recently where he said that, now, paraphrasing here, but kind of saying that he has the answers to what United need to do, but not many people in the team are listening to him, and everybody needs to be under the right mindset. Coming from, you're talking Ballon d'Or winner, you're talking multiple league winner, titles, records, you name it, Ronaldo has it. He's literally outright saying here, Jenny, that the United players aren't listening to him and they're not in the right mindset. What does that really say in terms of football nowadays, in terms of these kind of young guys coming up, and maybe even the way the players hold themselves on the field?
Where to begin with United is like, in my sense, Ronaldo says that he knows what to do and how to change United. I'm sorry, that's never going to happen with the players that he has at the club. It's not going to happen. Like, United aren't going to go anywhere with that team. They're never going to go anywhere with that team.
I mean, on paper though, like you've some world class players though, but when you're saying they're not going to go anywhere, are you talking about talent? Are you talking about mindset? Kind of what angle are you coming from?
I'm talking about a 2-2 draw, Aston Villa, and the next day at the training ground, they're all taking selfies with Pogba saying Pog is back. Like, I'm sorry if I
Mm.
see my team doing that after drawing 2-2 at Aston Villa after we win 2-0, 15 minutes to go. I'm sacking them off. Don't give a fuck. Like that's disgusting behavior. Like you're
Mm.
just after like, you're a mid-table. It's like they're proud to be a mid-table team now. Like
Yeah,
Wayne Rooney had a press conference with Derby as well. Like, and they were talking about obviously him and the Everton job, and then they asked him about the whole crack at United, and even Rooney said they shouldn't be fighting for top four. They shouldn't be fighting top. They shouldn't be even looking to get to top three. They should be number one. That's
yeah,
that's that's the legacy of that club. Like, I'm
yeah.
sorry, but like for me, I don't see United being top. I don't see United in top three for a very long time. A very long time because the players they have in the team on paper looks good, but they can't.
Yeah.
They like individually they can't play together. They just can't play together. The last three games, the United, and I've watched the three of them. They can't put a pass together. They really can't.
It is very scrappy. I agree. Even from the midfield, just passing out. It's all over the
Shocking, like.
place. You see them making kind of playground mistakes, like offsetting a pass. And I've seen like a couple of times, like likes of Ronaldo saves it or keeps it in, and or like the likes of
Yeah,
Fred
but like
losing the ball. Like
it's not they're relying on one or two players every time to save a point or to do this and that.
yeah,
Yeah, but like how do you go from finishing second last year, yeah, to buying Varane, Sancho, and what's that? Bringing in Ronaldo, best player in the world.
yeah.
To how do you go from second down to seventh, scrapping away, doing terrible in every aspect? In every aspect, like they're just
Yeah, no, it's true. And
it's
even what you brought up there, I think it's something that a lot of people forget is how well United did last season. They got they did very very well. Getting second, and
yeah,
to come into this season with signing two players in their own fields, the best in their position in the world, being Ronaldo and Varane, and
yeah.
having this effect is crazy. My question is though, Jenny, like I see some people on social media, and a lot of people are talking about this, and it's kind of I don't know if it's 50-50 with United fans and how they feel about it. But I see a lot of topic of conversation going about is Ronaldo bad for United's team? Where do you feel on that whole thing?
Yeah, I think it was the biggest waste of money.
Waste of money.
Yeah, I think it was the biggest mistake they ever made. I feel
Wow.
like it
Okay.
was more. I just if you're looking for going forward into the future, why are you signing someone that's literally going to finish his career in the next year or two? Like, what's the point in that? Like, you wouldn't see
Yeah.
Liverpool do that. You wouldn't see City doing that. You wouldn't see Chelsea doing it. They sign in
Yeah.
young upcoming talent. You don't go out and you don't. There's no point. Like his wages alone for a year could pay for an absolute outstanding up and coming player.
Okay.
Like I don't see. I just think it was the worst mistake ever. Like I
Yes.
really do.
I mean, like, obviously, he's one of the best players in the world. I mean,
Yeah,
regardless where you are on your scale, he's top three somewhere, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but like, I feel like a lot of people are blaming Ronaldo for like kind of the way he plays, and I'm gonna play the opposite side of the ball here, man. I feel like for me, for United to get better, I feel like Ronaldo is part of the solution, not the problem. Now, I know what you're saying. It's a very valid point about the wages and kind of the tax that he basically costs just to play fucking games. But apart from the whole social media stunt of getting Ronaldo back to United, at the end of the day, when he's in front of goal, he does magical things. Like if you see him and Bruno Fernandes on the ball together, there's some great little bits of 1-2 play together, and some of the best plays this season have been little 1-2s between Bruno Fernandes and Ronaldo when both of them are obviously fit and playing. So I feel like personally for United to get better, they need more players like the likes of like we've seen Cavani or Phil Jones, I want to mention, just as being players who actually clearly want to fucking play for the club and they're putting their ass on the line. Where I don't really know where they're at. I've been
That's
given
it.
yeah,
Look at the age of Cavani as well. What's Cavani? 36, 37?
yeah,
How long are they going to get out with him?
yeah,
You know, for me, if you have the likes of Greenwood, Rashford, these young players, yeah, that are strikers. I don't understand why you need our old legends. Basically, we're going to call them. That's what they are now. Like Ronaldo is nowhere near his peak he used to be. Like he's still world class, but he's not the same player he was Do you know what I mean?
So with that being said, then I mean, I feel like you're going fairly hard on Ronaldo. Would you have Ronaldo at a Liverpool side right now? Then do you think he fit in?
Not a hope, not a fucking chance.
You wouldn't take him at all.
Who am I gonna put him over? I'm not gonna put him over Mane or Salah. And will he track back and will he work his ass off the way Bobby Firmino does? Not a hope. Not a fucking chance. Would he? Not a chance. Ronaldo will get my top three or my front three at Liverpool. And that's just being blatantly honest. I left him out of my team of the year. I leave him out of everything. I just don't. He should take. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, but look at his goals he scored. The state of them. Like most of them are absolutely just tap-ins or just pure luck, bouncing off a defender or bouncing off the keeper and going in.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. He hasn't really put in any outstanding performances.
No.
So no, I get where you're coming from. I think you're saying he won't get into the front three and saying that he wouldn't be good. I feel like there's definitely going to be debate there. But you're saying about Liverpool's, I get what you're saying though, just about activity on the field, which Ronaldo clearly doesn't have. I don't think you don't need to agree or disagree with that. I think it's just a blatant fact. But then again, you got to argue: does he need to work his ass off? Can he just stand there in a position and afford to do that? That's really the question, though, isn't it?
Let's put it down to the United Liverpool game. Liverpool bet United 5-0 at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
Ronaldo's on the pitch. What did he do? He scored a goal that was offside in the 70-something minute when Liverpool literally went from fifth gear to first gear and just played. Like, he done nothing else. He done nothing else that entire game.
Yeah.
He was literally in Liverpool's defence's pocket. He couldn't get near the ball. Like, it shows the levels of class. Like, a game like that, that's where Ronaldo needs to be scoring. That's where he needs to be leading the team. That's where he needs to be the main guy. You know what I mean? But he's not doing it against the top boys anymore, because the top boys now are on a whole different level. It's a new level. It's a new era. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but my question for you then is with Ronaldo then at the moment, would you not agree that he isn't being given the service that he's been given at Juventus, at Real Madrid, and if he's not, would you not consider that a major factor to why United aren't doing well?
Well, he wasn't getting service at Juventus. He was doing more of that so himself because he carried Juventus, which is quite obvious. He left and Juventus got down the plumber. Same way Real Madrid. Real Madrid aren't the same team after he left. If anyone thinks they are, you're on drugs. You know, just because they're doing well now because Vinicius Junior and Benzema are on top four.
Yeah, but then again, like with these sides though, he was given people who passed him the ball. Yeah.
The team United have, does he have service from the midfield? Take Bruno out, no, he's no service. If you take Bruno,
yeah, I agree with that.
I don't see McTominay, Fred, and the boys sticking a ball 40 yards to someone's feet.
Yeah, no, I definitely would agree with that.
So, but look at the amount of games has he played. Had Bruno played together with him? Yeah, they've nearly played every game together. So, you know, it's not for me. For me, United are looking at the wrong way of playing football right now. I feel like they're behind in a sense. Like they're not tuned up the way the other top teams are. You know what I mean? You need the likes of your strikers stuff. You need them tracking back as well. Like, you know, strikers can't just laze around up top anymore. Just wait like Ronaldo's doing.
Yeah,
you know? And teams cop onto that. You know what I mean? Like when the likes of like any big team plays against them, like Liverpool did, every time Liverpool went forward, they just left Trent or Robbo back just to sit on Ronaldo.
Yeah,
that's all they had to do.
Yeah, and then he's just out of the game.
Yeah, he's out of the game completely.
I suppose even when you think about like me personally, now obviously I'm a City fan, but when I think about all like best goals that I've seen United score, a lot of them have been like great counter attacks, and the likes you've seen like Rooney or Scholes in the play where they're passing it around, and you have fucking wingers, even like there's Valencia back in the day used to be bombing it down the wings. I don't see United playing that style anymore, and I think what you're saying is, you know it does have some points to it that I think a lot of United fans will agree with, is that maybe they're playing the wrong style for the players they have and what they're doing. Ronaldo being a vital example of that, whether it's how the service is provided or what position he's in, but they're just not scoring enough goals. And like you said, they have talent there, like the likes of Rashford, Greenwood, I mean, not to mention any of their other world class players. I mean, we could talk about Pogba for days, and feckin', I don't even know who else to go into, Van der Beek and all them boys. But
Like, it's United's biggest problem. If you take De Gea out of United are losing 4-5 goals every game.
yeah,
Easily. For me, you look at United's backline. Varane, for me, he was undiscovered, unknown for Premier League. I don't think he's up to the challenge of the Premier League.
you think he's falling behind the curve?
I don't think he's able for the Premier League. I really don't. When you're coming from playing against Elche and Las Palmas and the boys over in Madrid to fucking playing against a fucking Brighton or Leeds team who fucking will bomb at you every 2 seconds, totally different ballgame. Totally different ballgame. Even the shit teams in the Premier League bomb at you. They do not stop.
Yeah.
Right. So then you look at Wan-Bissaka. I think Wan-Bissaka's absolute wank. I think he's
defensively
terrible.
He's all over the shop. All over the shop.
He's so bad.
Yeah.
He's just not. He's not United level. Man United level. He's not a United level. Maguire, worst 80 million you could have ever spent. You might as well just throw it in the bog and flushed it.
Yeah.
Luke Shaw has his moments. Not going to say he's bad. He is decent. He has his games where he is probably one of the best players on the pitch for United.
He had so many of them last season. He had so many of them. I got to say, Luke Shaw was one of my favorite wing backs to watch last season. But this season, I'm gonna interrupt here and say, one thing that I know we said it on the last podcast, and it was something that I brought up, was about Varane having the cover for Maguire and it really exposing United's defense a lot of the time. Do you think that, I know you're talking about the style of play that United are adapting, since obviously signing all these good players, and it's not really working out. Do you think maybe a couple of shifts in the squad could change that, and it could really make Shaw look good and make Varane look good and even make the likes of Pogba look good?
For me, you take 5 players out of that United squad and they'll be back at the top.
Who are your 5 players?
You're taking out Wan-Bissaka, you're taking out Maguire, you're taking out McTominay, you're taking out Fred, you're taking out Ronaldo. You take them 5 players out of that team, United will be back at the top with 5 good replacements.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from.
That's my opinion.
It's a big call. It is a big call. I know Fred gets a lot of hate, even though his work rate's fairly fucking good for United. He's like I don't know, man. He's like the Aldi version of Kante in a way, I suppose. He's active, but he's not that good on the ball.
Throw it out in the open. Right, just throw it out in the open. There's 5 players, take them out. Right, take them out. Throw in, obviously, you could pick who's a young, really good upcoming player wherever in them positions, and then take out Ronaldo and put in the likes of Vinicius Junior. All right.
You think Vinicius Junior would have a lot of that?
I think Vinicius Junior would be a very, very good player in that style, and the way I look at that team, you need to have in the midfield for United should be Donny Van de Beek. He should be in the middle, in my opinion, every game, regardless, doesn't matter what. And obviously, you have to keep Bruno. He's the head and ball of it. You know what I mean? And then get someone else in. So, or even if Pogba, if you want, I'm not a big fan of Pogba. I'm not. I just think he's more worried about himself as personally, and he's more worried about what he looks like and what he does more than what he does on the ball. So there's so many different changes you can make. But as I said, if I was to go to United, and the manager was never the problem with United, that was the thing. It was never the managers that was the problem at United. It was always the players. They just had to play the manager. But for me, then, if you get rid of them 5 and stick in 5, as I said, 5 upcoming young players, good players, and stick Vinny in that team. The likes of Vinny. It doesn't have to be Vinny, but I think Vinny would be a good fit.
Yeah.
I think United would be back up to the top.
I get where you're coming from, as in putting players in there who want to be there and who actually have the right abilities going forward. But yeah, I mean, that United team, it is really it's a mix up at the moment. I'm sure United fans are frustrated, fucking kind of dealing with the whole situation. There's obviously the whole question of is Rangnick the man for the job?
United feel like Liverpool fans did for a decade.
Yeah.
We had an awful decade. We had an awful decade. I know what it feels like to be there as a Liverpool fan. Well, all I can say is that United used to always just say to us, "Oh, 30 years, haha, 30 years, haha, blah 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 blah." I'm sorry, but you're closing in on the decade already, and I can guarantee you now, if you don't sort it out fast, it'd be another decade. So we'll be the ones singing, 20 years, 20 years," because it's going to happen if they don't sort the shit out and fast.
Yeah, it's. I think this is the. I don't want to say the biggest decline of United that we've seen in a long time, but it's definitely up there with, like United are one of these teams that even if you don't know football, you know United and you know what they're capable of. Like even my dad he supported United, and even from back way when they've just always been a top team. I mean they're always in there. So see them at the state they're at is, for a football fan in general, it's sad to see. I'm not gonna lie,
it is. It's devastating to see, because you know what? Do you know what the gassy is? Years ago, I used to be like, "Fuck United Liverpool fixture, dreading it." Now I'm like, United Liverpool fixture. That's no, but I'm not trying to be a cunt.
No,
but that's
I get what you're
it
saying.
is for me now.
No, 100%.
Like, you know what I mean? I love, like, if you said to me, like, all Liverpool have United in Champions League final, I'd be like, great, love. We're selling the house. We're putting it all on Liverpool. And that's being honest.
Yeah. No, I get you. They've become an easy fixture, and they had never had that presence before. No, I get exactly what you're saying. But look, as I said, I like, for me personally, I know I support City, but I'm a football fan before I'm a City fan. It'd be great to see United back in the mix, but I'm just really interested to see what Rangnick does. I know that's a different topic altogether. I won't even get into that, but hopefully we see United come to a better standpoint, at least towards the second half of the season. We're going to go towards chat here, and we'll read a few questions and a few statements that people have to say about the whole thing. Let me see. See a lot of people talking about different positions in the team and how it works. See a couple of people talking about Pogba as well. I think that was an interesting point you said, Jenny, about Pogba not being good. I see Pogba in the French squad, and I see some of the passes he's making and the ability that he has, and I'm like, man, this guy's a star. But since I've seen him at United, I've been just... I'm not gonna lie, there's not a lot of players I'd say I've been disgusted at. But watching him play, man, pisses me off furiously.
You know what? The other thing though you're leaving out is, like, let's differential the teams. Look at the players he has around him at United. Look at the players he has around him at France.
Yeah. I suppose that's true. That French squad is crazy.
It's just like, I'm going to play the Euros. I'm playing alongside Kante. I'm going to play with United. I'm playing alongside Fred.
Yeah, I suppose the French squad gives him more flexibility as well to move, like you were saying, playing alongside like Kante, like a defensive god. Nobody can take that away from him.
He doesn't need to. That's the thing. He's at France. He has the freedom to free roam, to play ball.
Yeah,
because
that's
he
true.
has them players around him that actually know how to pass a ball 5 feet. You know what I mean? And then you have the likes of, I'm sorry, but who's going to make more quick, fast, steady runs? Who's going to get in behind more, Cavani or Mbappe? Who's going to provide you more on the wing and track back and help you when you need it? Is it going to be the likes of fucking Ronaldo, or fucking the likes of Griezmann or Coleman and all these big these boys that just run?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the beauty of it. You got to look at, like, when he's in a team. Like, if I'm playing that United team as Pogba, bro, I'm sorry, but I can't feel comfortable in that midfield being able to free roam when I have Fred and McTominay behind me. I just can't. You wouldn't do it. Yeah, I mean, like, there's definitely a question of their team. I'm gonna run a poll in chat right now as well to see I want to see, is Ronaldo part of the solution or the problem? I feel like it's a really good question that a lot of United fans are kind of wondering right now. I know some fans like him, some fans don't. It's hard not to like Ronaldo, but you got to be realistic. When you see the likes of Cavani busting his balls up front, or even, as I said earlier, the likes of Phil Jones busting his balls at the back, when you see a player like Ronaldo who just, not to say he can't afford to play the way he is. I mean, as I said, he Ballon d'Or, record winning, all that. But when you see players who really want to be there, it really, it makes you want the team to do well, and you want to see those players involved more, because, like you were saying, activity is really big. Like, even compared to the French squad, the way you're saying, like, you have all these players with the kind of high work rates and stuff, and
those teams will definitely suit players like Ronaldo, but you know, you want to see players fighting for it. Like I was watching the last City game when I was at the bus where was it? I think it was at the bus station. It was the Chelsea game, in fact. And one player for City, man, and he's going to go down as a legend forever, is Bernardo Silva. Man, I don't even want to talk about him going forward in his passing. The fucking work rate he has is through the bleeding roof. He puts his body on the line to defend passes and to cut passing lanes. Nobody talks about it. Defensively, he's a god. Bernardo Silva, literally, like, and he has no reason to put his body on the line. It's not like he grew up in Manchester. Man's fucking Spanish. Do you know what I mean? But he puts everything out there. And if you had 11 of him, any team would be world class. So it's players like that, man, who really inspire a team and inspire you to go forward. We have the polls already in. 54% of chat believes this solution in regards to Ronaldo for United. So definitely a split vote there. But you want players, Jenny, who are going to put their bodies on the line.
Definitely, like that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many players that go unnoticed in certain teams. Like, you know, for a long period of time, and only now you kind of notice Wijnaldum was a key to Liverpool and their success. The likes of Fabinho, he's Liverpool's heart and soul right now.
Yeah.
Then you look at, like, obviously the likes of City, you know, Gundogan doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah, unreal player.
Like, you know, these kind of players don't get enough credit, like, for what they do for their actual team. Mason Mount obviously does get credit, but he's a heart and soul at Chelsea as well. Like, you know, these kind of players are just on different levels. It's like, you know, you got to look at certain teams and you see that caliber of player, like so Rafinha at Leeds shouldn't be at Leeds, should be at a much higher club, you know.
Yeah, just work rate alone.
The likes of Jared Bowen for West Ham shouldn't be at West Ham, definitely should be at a big team as well now. Like, these kind of players, you could see what they've got in them, and they're doing it in that league itself, you know, against big teams, you know. So yeah, I definitely could see a lot of changes happening in the summer in regards to United. I'm just curious to think, like, I don't think, will Ronaldo stay? That's the question. Will he
what was his?
stay?
I don't even know his contract line. And sorry, I'm gonna say this now. I see. Sorry, I see chat correcting me. I meant to say Portugal, not Spain, for Bernardo Silva. Apologies. I didn't realize I said Spain. Portugal, obviously, guys. Sorry, Jenny, continue.
I was gonna let it just flow, but okay. But, like, as I said, like, it's all about the way you look at it. Do you think Ronaldo stay? I'm near sure in every contract he's had, Chris, is that there is a clause in his contract
to get out. Yeah.
About, you know, and it's not about just getting out, but it's about, like, the team, what the team promised to do with him there, in a sense. Like, as in, United have probably promised him Champions League football. Do you think Ronaldo's going to want to play at a club that doesn't be in the Champions League?
That's true.
There's not a fucking hope. He's a superstar. He wants to be on the big stage. I'm sorry, but, like, you know, when you're playing fucking Oldham Athletic on a Thursday evening in the fucking FA Cup, you know, it's not as glamorous as playing against the likes of Bayern Munich, PSG, Liverpool, fucking City, and on the Champions League main stage, you know. So
yeah,
that's the way I look at it. I just don't think he'll stay on the base of it. I just don't. United won't get, in my opinion, United won't even get top 6. They won't get Europa either.
If they don't get Europa, yeah, it'd be very hard to see Ronaldo stay. Very, very difficult.
I think United finish 8th or 9th this season.
That's crazy.
That's just being honest. Because realistically, looking at their fixtures they've left, there's a lot of games there they're guaranteed they're going to lose. 100%.
Yeah, they definitely have a tough road ahead of them. It'd be interesting to see if United do come back. I definitely feel like, now obviously I don't have a clue of the fixtures they've ahead of them, but it'd be nice to see them come back into the mix at least in the second half of the season. But anyways, on to the next topic. And speaking of, if you don't already know, guys, if you're listening in on Spotify or Google Podcasts or anything else, we have a poll on Twitter basically every single week where the community decides one topic to chat about. Now, this week's topic is especially fun because obviously it relates to IrishGenesis and something very close to home, is about the Irish streaming community. and what it's like realistically to kind of be in with other Irish creators. I know a lot of people want to listen to this. I see chat lighting up right now, seeing like, let's go from Bisto Bob. He's dying to hear. But it's a big topic, and you know, there's a reality to it. It's not all, you know, it's not all positives, it's not all negatives, but there's definitely sides to it, and everybody has their own story with the Irish community. So I'm going to read exactly what Ethan said, and we're going to answer it directly here. So Ethan OC asked, what is your opinion on the state of the Irish streaming community, the way people act, egos, and how they treat others? Want to hear what you think, since it's not a very spoken topic about. Right, so obviously, Jenny, me and you have been in the scene for a long time, and we have our own stories to tell, like every single Irish creator is gonna have. But I'm gonna take it from both of us here. So we'll start off with you. Obviously, without naming names, I want to go on at people. How do you kind of define the Irish streaming community? And we'll go from the start here of what Ethan asked here. So, the state of the Irish streaming community, where is that for you?
Right, without getting into names and stuff, obviously, it's where to begin. I definitely feel like there's only a select few streamers who actually support other Irish streamers. And I feel like a lot of other Irish streamers are more about themselves. Like they don't really care into regards of trying to get involved with other people, making new content, creating ideas, coming together for certain things, not,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Like if you look at the category of people, including me and you and other streamers that get involved in the events as such, like with like the likes of JBJ Car stuff and all,
Yeah.
you see these guys coming together to help build something for Jamie. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
He has a dream, and we're all backing him and being a part of his team, you know? So we bring all our following and all the people that know us to him. And then you look at the other side of it, where before I get to it, is the way I look at it is that one thing that pisses me off more than anything, though, is the fact that Irish content is never going to grow if all the Irish content creators dip out and aren't proud that they're from Ireland anymore. That's a big thing for me.
Okay, that's an interesting take. So what do you mean by that? Do you mean like just representing? Do you mean like helping each other out? Kind of what's your point
anyone that's ever got a name has literally just disowned the fact that they're Irish, and the big guys don't think to themselves, right, well, I'm at a stage now where I'm big, so I'm going to try and help more small Irish streamers come up. People with a big fucking outreach. You probably know who I'm on about, okay? But these people, this select person I'm talking about, he is more interested in helping American streamers than he is his own.
Yeah, so here's the kind of devil's advocate play I'm going to call with this. So, like with the whole Irish side of streaming, I feel like if people have gone abroad or people have gone to a different country to do their own thing and to grow themselves, I feel like that really comes from just how lacking this country is in supporting this form of media. You know, I feel like if you're to go to the UK or the States, you're going to have like 20-fold opportunities compared to what you have here. Like, for example, what I'm working with at the moment with Gamerstore and a bunch of other companies, they're unbelievable because they're starting something in this country that hasn't been seen before. And it's hard not to appreciate like someone going for that. But with the opportunities that are in this country, they're just far and few between. And like, I feel like when you're an Irish streamer, let's say you're at the top of your game, you're getting thousands of views and you're doing this and you're doing that. The next step, I suppose, is to just reach out to go abroad and to extend your audience further. Now, obviously,
there's a difference between going abroad and forgetting completely about where you came from and where you started.
Yeah, no,
that's my factor.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But I feel like a lot of these people who are moving abroad are going to be focused on themselves more than growing their home ground. And obviously, and I know that's something you don't agree with. And it's something that obviously I try to, I feel like I try to help out creators on this side of it and kind of support them as much as I can. But, you know, when you get to a stage, I suppose you're trying to grow your own brand and grow your own business. So there has to be a certain reality to it as well. Like if you move to the States, one, you're going to have more opportunities one, two, you're gonna have more funding opportunities to actually be able to live your own life, and I don't know if it's losing the individuality of like being from Ireland and the whole niche, but I get what you're saying. But yeah, I think there's definitely two sides to it. As in, like, you know, since we haven't really grown a lot here in Ireland in terms of content creation. But with that being said, do you still feel if you had a certain amount of viewers that you wouldn't try extend it out to that audience and kind of move over, or like where would your standpoint be with it then?
Listen, if I ever got to the levels of said people, the one thing I'd never forget about is where I started, where I came from, and the amount of Irish people that literally tune in every day to watch me. Now, I'm not saying I don't have viewers from the UK and the US and all. I do.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that I have a lot of Irish content creators, streamers that come into to me, have chats with me and stuff, and that raid me and support me constantly.
Yeah.
So if I ever did get to that level, would I just go abroad, forget about it all? That I'm big now, don't have to care. No, 100% not. If I'm that big and I'm making that much money, I'm a invest that shit. Why can't you? You're making so much money, right? Why not fucking set up like you have the funds, you have the backing, you have the sponsors, you have the brands to be able to come back to the whole country, even for a 6-month vacation, to set up a business over here to promote this shit, to help other people, to guide people. And that's
Yeah.
being honest. If I ever got that big, like you've seen me where I've guided and helped people, and there's people that can, like, just through orgs and stuff, where they've actually somehow managed to they built their brand with me under the name, especially Saints. A lot of guys
Yeah.
built themselves from there and moved on, and now they're working with bigger orgs or they're working with bigger clients and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And there's proof of that on Twitter itself. So there's always, for me, is if I ever got to that stage, I'd build something with it, because at the end of the day, it's where you started. We all started up our stream and looked down at one or two viewers. We all were there at one point. So I feel like if you've got there, help out the little guy that actually helped you get to where you were.
Yeah, no, I feel like there's a lot to be said for that. I feel like with the scene as it is, like you were saying, it's like every big creator that's in the scene ends up fecking off to kind of leave the scene, but the scene doesn't develop because of that. It's kind of left in limbo, where you have a big creator comes through and then he's gone. Big creator comes through and then he's gone. And there's no presence because you have these people constantly like going, essentially. Like obviously we can name names and we can say this and that, but there are some big streamers. Now bear in mind, they're doing great for themselves and fucking fair play to them. But as a result of all this, the scene isn't growing. And it's reasons like that why I think Irish content creation is a bit behind the curve. It's because we don't have people who are actually sticking around and collaborating with the people who actually are here doing it. Do you know what I mean? And growing the community, because it's a big side to it. And bringing people in to the Irish scene, it's tough enough as it is. As I said, we're already behind the curve. Twitch is a new thing. I've been streaming 4 years, and only over the last maybe year or two, Twitch has become actually somewhat big over here. Before that, people were like, what the fuck is Twitch? Now when you mention Twitch, people have somewhat of an idea what it is, but before, man, people didn't have a clue. So I feel like it's an industry that's still very underdeveloped, but it'll take people growing heavily in the scene that do stick around to make that impact. So I definitely agree with you there. Obviously, the side I was going at from the start is explaining obviously why they're going abroad to extend their brand and stuff. But then again, the bad side of it is that it does affect the community and the whole Irish side growing, which is a big thing. So with that being said, naturally, when it comes to this community, since it's small, you're gonna have things like ego involved, and it's something that Ethan asked. How do you feel ego has a place in the small community that we have right now?
Oh, 100%. Like, as I said, I won't name anyone, but there's certain people that I've worked with in the past even. And I feel like, if you reject something you want to do with them, or you want to work on another idea with someone else, they get upset about it, like, and just change
Yeah.
up fast, like, like, I'm willing to work with anyone at the end of the day, like, But like I feel like it's like, once you've worked with one person before in the past, it's like they feel like it's a permanent thing. Like you have to work with me from now on. Like if that way, like.
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely, because it's such a small industry, you're going to see things like that, and I feel like it's naturally not human, but it's common in a small group that you see these small cliques forming, and when people get in with each other, that they're like, okay, this is our thing now. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, as opposed, kind of in a general, sense of it. I've definitely met some streamers. As I said, I'm not gonna name any names, but man, there's some egos floating around. Fucking hell, there's definitely some guys who haven't accomplished anything, and they have this kind of god complex, and I don't know where it comes from. I think it's just the fact that they're a fish in this small pond, but like there's so many smaller fish that they just, I don't know, man. I just feel like it's very easy to get an ego in a small community. Do you know what I mean? It's like being the loud guy in a group of 5 friends. I feel like that's kind of a good comparison. It's like people kind of easily kind of separate themselves from the group as being this guy or that guy, but in turn it kind of affects up kind of the whole ecosystem in a way of how people kind of respect each other and even collaborate. Going back to what you said previously about lads want to help each other out, and I'll hop in your chat and I'll do this with you because you're streaming and it'll benefit you, and you know what I mean, that whole side of it, that kind of growing the whole system. But I definitely feel like it gets lost in translation, and I've met creators from YouTube, I've met creators from Twitch, and it goes the same. It's not just Twitch creators, it happens on YouTube as well, it happens on other sides of it. I feel like being in a small country and a small community and getting somewhat attention or success, you can definitely see kind of people, how to say, kind of obtaining these kind of bad traits kind of through it.
Yeah, like it's like, right, we'll take an example. I'm gonna say 96% of the Irish community, if you went to them and said, I have this podcast, how are you getting on? Why don't you do it with me? Right? 96% of them would have said, well, I'm not doing it unless it's on my channel, or I'm only doing it if we can split it. That kind of way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I literally stated straight away that this was going to be on your channel, regardless of what, because that's who I am. I'm not out for my own, in a sense. I'm not like, oh well, this isn't fair on me, like I fucking I'm IrishGenesis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the way you gotta look at it. As I said, I only follow a few Irish streamers, and I have respect for a few Irish streamers. And that's down to the simple fact is that if anything's ever went back, like if you go back past stuff where I've ended up in like bad situations and stuff, all these people that back then that were like talking to you and stuff, they all jumped on a bandwagon of, they didn't know what's going on, but they were so quick to do it. In that sense, that's the same thing for me. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's one of these things where I don't think it's going to change, and it's got to a stage where now we work with the boys that we trust.
Yeah,
I feel like that's where it is. There's only, as I said, like there's a select amount of few people that I love. I can't wait to work with. I can't wait to collab with.
Yeah.
And then there's others. No matter how big they got, if they ask me, I'd reject it just on the base of what they've done in the past.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair, and obviously you have your own kind of opinion on that, and that's completely respected here. So yeah, that kind of moves on to the next thing here. So it's like about how people treat each other in the community, and this is the big topic. I feel like a lot of people have an input on how people treat each other and how it goes. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like I know a couple of people in chat have said it earlier, and we'll go into that briefly in a bit, but just about kind of how people are, there's a lot of talk about kind of how people are somewhat kind of two-faced in the community, and they don't really show their full hand, you know what I mean? And I feel like with some people it's definitely hard to gauge where they're at. I feel like, now obviously this is completely biased, and it goes without saying, we're doing the podcast together, lads, whatever, but Jenny was someone 100% from the start that was very, very positive towards the Irish community growing, and and getting involved in multiple different Irish streams. And as I said, you obviously have your own favorites now, and rightfully so, man. You've been involved with so many different streams. Probably even many others that you don't, that wouldn't be ones you'd naturally watch and stuff. I feel like you really helped see and grow in a lot of ways. And I obviously personally, I feel like I have somewhat of a say in that, as well, as in, like, you know, I like to get around to Irish streamers and support them, and if I can give anybody advice or whatever, I always try to put my hand out, and I mean it genuinely. And I think anybody I've come into contact with can vouch for that. Is
you started me off, realistically.
What do you mean?
Whether you like to admit it, you grew me, and that's just that. So, like, I was in your stream constantly. Like, when I first came to Twitch, I found your page, and I was constantly in it. I was constantly there, constantly supporting. You know, whether it was, you know, fucking subbing, gifting subs, because I was enjoying your content, and I can tell I am a very good judge of character. I can tell a wanker when a wanker.
Yeah.
And that's a fact. I have met so many people through my life.
Yeah.
I can tell you, the first sentence you said to me, I'll know if you're a wanker. That's legit. I can just read you like a book. So when I first came to Twitch, like 2 years ago, I think it was around 2 years ago. Yeah, but about 2 years ago. You were one of the first streams that came along, because I was looking for Irish streamers to watch. You know, because I didn't know at the time of these boys, like, back then it would have been like Tfue, Ninja, the Colas, all these were the boys that were off on one when Dr. Disrespect, all these boys were the ones when I first joined Twitch, that were popping. And so then obviously I found yourself, and that's where it came from. Then I started streaming myself, and I was back on the PS4. The little cam box at the top. And I was just this mad bastard who was just doing me all thing, you know. So, and then I remember you raided me, and from there I started meeting new people, and meeting, and it started growing and growing and growing and growing, slowly but surely. So that's what I mean, like, you know. So straight away, like, that just shows the levels of where we're coming from with helping Irish content creators. Because I honestly know for a fact, even as much of a big fucking bubbly personality I have and how outgoing I am, I still wouldn't have got that quick start, we'll call it, without your help. So that's the way you gotta look at it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I appreciate that. It's nice to see, man. Like, you know, I just, like, even from the start, and I don't know if anybody was even here when I bleeding started streaming. We're talking like fucking 2018. I don't know if anybody in the chat right now is here from this era, but I literally was saying that my goal is to just grow this fucking community and to get the Irish scene up and going, man, because it's fuck all people doing this on the level that I want it to be at. And it's always been the main goal. Obviously I got my own fucking priorities that I want to grow, obviously my own channel and stuff, but just the scene, it's nothing to be looked at. Like, no wonder, like, there's a reason why sponsors don't look at it. There's a reason why it's nothing in this country, is because there's not enough people doing it, and, you know, doing it the right way and doing it professionally as well. There's a big difference between doing it professionally and unprofessionally, you know what I mean? And I feel like since COVID started, it's been a breath of fresh air. Like, seeing the likes of many creators coming in, like fucking Rusher, Bisto, Bob, Mr. Gibbon, so many other big creators, who have really come through and who have, you know, given a light to the scene. Because before that, lads, no offense to anybody else or whatever, but the scene was just a bit dry, man. It's great to see other creators getting involved. Like, I see Ethan OC as well. Ethan only started streaming recently too. Really, really nice, genuine guy, and it's great to see like lads getting involved, even from hobbyists turning it into something on the side. Like, that's how it all starts. So I love seeing that, man, and it's more of that will bring the scene to where everybody wants it to be. So all I'd say is, if anybody's listening in and you want to stream, it should encourage you to get involved and to start making content. And it's not even about like showing your face around the Irish scene. It's not even about that. Just doing your own thing, making your own content, you know. I feel like, you know, people's own goals are there. Like, if somebody wants to grow themselves, I'm not going to shit on them. If you're in the Irish scene and you only want to grow yourself and you want to go abroad or whatever, that's fine. You do your own thing. But I feel like this community needs a lot of nurturing, and it needs a lot of attention, like you were saying earlier. So it's great to see people get involved and helping each other out. And I'm glad for you to even say that, man. It's nice to hear that you feel like I influenced you.
It's definitely honesty, like, and it's the same though, because like the further I got ahead and the further I started growing myself and doing I've done so many different fucking things. Like it's crazy. Like the list is uncanny in 2 years. But for some strange reason that they feel like all the wrong things. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, it's like if I look now to what I'm planning, obviously like the with yourself, and then obviously now getting in talks with Jamie J and people like that. I feel like give me all that time and money back and let me fucking slap it into the because that is, that's the stand. That's where I stand on it. You know what I mean? It's like for me, like even the likes of Maroxide Malamphy, like they were brutally honest with me after they first played GTA CMG 4P, yeah. They
Yeah.
came on. And as we went along, right, we were doing things together and I was helping them out and showing the boys this and that. And they literally two of them, we were in it. We were and this was in RP as well, like, and we
Yeah.
were sitting in the nightclub we owned, yeah, and we were doing RP that. And the next thing, we're happy rock cycle, like out of character for a minute now. I'm not gonna lie, Jenny. We used to really not like you. We used to think you were a stuck up wanker. They said it straight. And I was like, and
Yeah.
I'm standing there and I'm like, I'm in character kind of thing, and I'm like, thanks, boys. And they were like, no, really, you're actually a fucking sound lad, dead
Yeah.
on spot, you know. But it's crazy how you can look and see someone and think this. But then when you actually get to know them and you work with them at some level, like in a sense,
Yeah. No,
you
it's
you you start to develop and see what it's actually like to be in that position. Because I've always said it. You look at me, back when I was bald headed, big bearded. I'm a bald headed, bearded, tattooed, crazy looking motherfucker. Like so. This guy's fucking sus as fuck. Like a little bit. He's openly admitting on stream that he's done drugs and he's been to prison and all this crazy shit. Like
yeah.
this guy's nuts. Like he's off his wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then when you actually get through the process of working together and being there with them at the present time, and
Yeah.
it develops into something. So, but for me, I'm like that, like, you know what I mean? But I'm just very open. I'm always open, you know what I mean? But I feel like if I wasn't open, you wouldn't know me. You know
No,
what I mean?
yeah, no,
You
no.
wouldn't know who the fuck I am. Like like you probably know me better than I know myself now. Like, like that's so without that we wouldn't be where we are now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no.
That's the way I look at it.
I agree with that, and I feel like it's very easy for creators to come in and look at a person and judge them straight away. I feel like not only just in the Irish community, but Irish people in general have a very, oh, your man, he's a fucking idiot, or you know what I mean? He's doing
Yeah.
this, doing that. When you're doing anything creative in Ireland, it's kind of frowned upon, and people kind of take the piss. So it's very hard to get support doing a creative outlet, especially in regards to streaming or any form of media, really. So naturally, when people come into the scene, they're going to be like, oh, look at your man, he's this and that, yada yada yada. But like I've obviously worked for you a long time, and I've known you a long fucking time. So
Yeah.
It's a very stupid mistake to make, especially in a form of creative media, to really judge someone. And I feel that definitely plays a part in how people interact with each other in the Irish scene and how they see each other, because it's the first form of contact is how you view somebody and how you look at them, and people really
Definitely, like
yeah.
we know each other over 2 years, like, and you've literally seen me at my highest highs and my lowest lows. You know,
Yeah, that's true.
you've seen me on top of the fucking shit I'm doing, and then you've seen me at the bottom getting nothing but hate for it. You
Yeah.
know, so at the end of the day, like, is that through everything from start to finish since I first met you to now, I haven't changed whatsoever, no matter what situation I was in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Um, it's all about learning how to deal with it, especially like at the end of the day, like as I said, the main reason why I went behind all these orgs and all, it wasn't about making money and all, because I never made a single cent. I spent a fortune, but it was all about getting people in and giving them a chance, especially a lot of Irish people. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I had so many Irish content creators, so many Irish graphic artists, and so on. The list goes on. Giving these boys a chance and an opportunity to get known in the scene. And at that time, my name was starting to go everywhere, whether it was for good or bad reasons. People then were like, "Oh, he works with that IrishGenesis fella. I wonder if he's any good at graphics. I wonder if he's any good at streaming. Let's check him out." And it started slowly growing. And I always got and much love to every single person that's ever worked with me, because they've never downfought me for it. It was like Jake, my
Yeah.
boss. Like Jake, my boss will tell you himself, he was at his lowest point ever. Didn't want to do anything anymore in regards to content. All. And I grabbed Jake out of the fucking woodwork, brought him into Saints, gave him the content manager job, got him back on track. and he got a new lease of life. And now look at him. Look
Yeah,
where he
yeah.
went. Look where he went. He took the step out. You know, Saints fell apart, but he didn't let that affect him. He went on. He went to AOS. He was actually being paid. He's getting paid to do content.
Yeah.
It's the building structure. Same with Josh Gill, content or graphic artist. You know, pulled him out of woodwork. Boom. Exalse, motion designer, pulled him out of woodwork. So many people were pulled out of woodwork that are Irish, you know, or even UK, and were built on the basis of my downfalls. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'll always hold that in good regard. My downfalls, there was still some goods in it,
Yeah.
and would I do it all over again? Yeah, sure. I'll blow another 9 grand if it makes 3 or 4 young lads have a good career or a good time in esports or and build their platform. 100%. Because at the end of the day, it's the only way we're going to get somewhere is by helping the other person, helping the little guy out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
That's the way I view it. Anyway.
I think no, I think that's a really good mindset, man. It's just about, like, even at its core, it's just about assisting the community to grow, no matter what level you're at. If you're a high level or a low level or whatever, you know, just to get involved into to really push the scene. One person I'll mention quickly, just in regards to what he does. One great example, and obviously we're good friends with him, is Jamie J. Carr. The way he's kind of taken on much different projects to what's the conventional, and he's really trying to push it. And it's characters like that, man, that are really going to push the scene to the next level. And I think everybody can find inspiration, no matter if it's through me, Jenny, or even someone you know, whether it's in the Irish scene or even the UK scene, to really grow your community around you and grow the scene around you, because there's a lot at stake, and you know, everybody's trying to build their career at the same time. So you know, we're all really on the same road. So the better each person does, the better in turn it gets for everybody. You know, the more of a catalog of content creators we have here, the better it's going to be over time. So it's really all about supporting each other and just pushing the scene, man. Just trying to be the best content creator you can, and to keep going with it, essentially. With that being said, then, just on an end little note here before we read some chat, what do you think the Irish scene right now, Jenny, needs to do to really push it and to put it in the direction that it needs to go in?
I definitely feel like yourself and the Lad Nation thing will be a pinnacle for it. I feel like that's a stepping stone to the right direction. I definitely feel like the ideas, obviously, I can't discuss, but I talk to JBJ Carr on WhatsApp every day, nearly, like, you know, we have the chats, and, you know, and he's told me a lot of stuff. I definitely feel like his ideas for 2022 could be a really good step of stone.
Yeah.
I just think, like, we got to remember as well, like, if you're an Irish streamer, Irish content creator, just keep pushing your content. Like, don't stop. Like, 'cause if you stop, it's another lad we've lost that may possibly be that guy to come up with that special idea or that special thing to get us to where we want to go. And if you ever do get there, if you ever do grow to a level where, you know, it's a living for you, and you got there by people around you in the Irish scene, smaller guys, don't forget them. Like, you know, but make sure that you get them involved in something to help them, maybe push them higher than they are at that moment, or even just supporting them in other ways, such as, like, you know, shout outs or raids and all that kind of stuff, you know, collaboration, whatever it may be. Just stay focused on what you do and don't give up. That's all I can say. Like, just keep going, no matter how bad you may feel like it is. It can always get better.
Yeah, no, I think that's really good advice, and just fit across the board. Obviously, content creation is it's a mixed media. You got so much to deal with. You're talking different platforms, you know, you're talking TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, you know, Twitch, whatever the hell you're on. You know, it's hard to kind of get content on everything, but, you know, starting the road is better than not starting at all. And it's what I say. It's why I only started TikTok recently, and we're doing okay on it now. And it's platforms like that really grow you, and it's about kind of moving in the right direction, but making good content across the board. And it takes time, you know. Like, as I said, I've been streaming nearly it'll be 4 years now next month, streaming, and I still feel like I'm a baby at the game. Like, I've so much to learn, I've so much to gather in, but definitely think that, you know, a lot of creators need to put their so some creators, should I say, need to put kind of egos aside and some of their own personal kind of things aside, and just try to collaborate and try to grow the scene. Like you said, it's a great example of Jamie J. Carr, and even like the way you were saying about Lad Nation, the project I'm kind of trying to undertake now, it could be a big stepping stone in Irish creators kind of getting seen and getting opportunities. So I'm willing to push it as much as I can, no matter what I have to do. And yeah, if everybody else is willing to take the road, then, you know, best of luck. And I feel like, as I said, I know I said it earlier, but, you know, if anybody needs advice or anything like that, man, I'm always the guy you can always come to and message about any topics in regards to streaming or anything, whether it's equipment or how you deal with stuff or whatever. I always want to help people in the scene and help them grow. So you can always reach out to me, and if you need any help or any advice at all. I see a lot of people in chat's been popping Jenny since we started this conversation. So I'm going to scroll up the max I can and talk here. Bisto Bob says, I think there needs to be a massive Irish streamer to really spearhead the Irish scene. So I think Jenny is right. There hasn't been one to come back and say, let's promote the other Irish creators. I think that's a really fair point. I don't think anybody can argue with that. All it takes is one good creator to really build a platform here and stay here. That's really going to elevate it to another level.
Definitely. I definitely feel like all it takes is one big name. Like one big name or one guy to just pop off with a certain extent that can get to that point where he has the backing to get to the rest of the people. Like he can look down, see the smaller guys and put it there and get them involved in stuff. Even if it doesn't grow them to massive levels.
Yeah.
Small levels will do. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Just bring them up to the kind of next stage at least with it. And I see the lads as well commenting. I appreciate it, Bob and Ethan, about trying to help you guys and stuff. And like, it's what I was saying, man. I love seeing new content creators coming on the scene, and you know, like passionate people, man. It's so nice seeing passionate people in the scene. Like, I know it's very easy to look at other creators and jealousy to come to mind, or different emotions, but for me, man, when I see somebody doing good, it's just a nice feeling, man, because it's like the scene around you is growing, the support for your scene is growing. I know any Irish creator in this chat is going to 100% agree with me here, but you've streamed being an Irish creator, and you've somebody come into your chat from another Irish creator's chat, and they're watching you because they like Irish streamers, because of the impression someone else has left. That speaks volumes more than anything else, guys, and that's what I'm saying. It's leaving that impression with one viewer that's like, you know what, the Irish scene is actually pretty fucking good. I'm going to watch this guy as well. This guy is Irish as well. Let's check this out. And it goes back to what you said, Jenny, about kind of representing your nation and representing your community, because the more streamers like that you have, man, the community is going to fucking blossom like hell. So you need those type of people, man, who are really going to push the scene and to bring it to the next level. And it's kind of that mindset and that aspect of community that that really grows it. And I see sorry, go on, Jen.
It's definitely the factor as well, like, is that when you have them select people like that love watching Irish streamers and they stick around for each, no matter the raid or not, they stick around and they follow the next guy and they stick in his chat and they see what he's about and they might like him. So when, like, he may come from your community, but when you're not live and that other guy's live, he could end up, then he gets to the stage of watching you when you're live and then watching this guy not live. He's found another person he can watch after it, you know what I mean? But it definitely is, it's all about keeping your select amount of people that you have, like, as in your community is the most important. Once you have a foundation of select amount of people, whether it's 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, 20 people, that they're going to be the sole reason why you grow. True,
it's so true, man. Like, any regular you have, guys, is the best thing possible for you. Like, if you're somebody that was willing to watch your stream and abide to your schedule, man, that's fucking massive. And it's why I always say about my community, man, I love every single one of them, because without every single regular, the stream wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be doing what we're doing. We wouldn't have any of these ideas. None of these projects would come to fruition. It wouldn't be anything. So it's really the power of the people who are watching and supporting that really makes the difference. And I'm sure every creator is going to tell you the same thing, really. It's kind of the industry that we're in, but it's great to see people kind of getting involved and just the community aspect as well. It's great for, especially a lot of Irish streamers get a lot of support, and it's good to see. I see Ethan OC said, man, if the people in the scene put their egos away and got to work in collaborating and expanding our whole community, the place would be amazing, genuinely. And Ethan, once again, goes back to what we're saying about the likes of Jamie J. Carr, even smaller, like the project I was talking about with Lad Nation, and even the likes of Jenny doing a poker event every Sunday and getting different creators involved and everyone streaming and having the crack. it's things like that. It's these ideas that you get out of creators in. Everybody knows content's better when you have a couple of personalities involved. Like the way I used to do Among Us, that was a massive example of that. When I used to do Among Us with Jenny, Streamer Elite, all the boys, that grew a big audience fast just because of how mad it was having so many personalities all bunched in together. So when you're doing events, and you don't even need to be an event organizer, you can literally just be a streamer or a content creator and be like, oh, it'd be fun if I got some creators in to do this and do that, and we have a night about it. Do you know what I mean? It's these little ideas that spark creativity, and it's why Jamie's doing what he's doing, and it's why Jenny's doing the poker, and why I'm doing the likes of Lad Nation. So it's ideas like that that's going to push the community and bring people together, and it's why I'm always persistent on collaborating. Like I've reached out to so many creators that I love in the Irish scene about collaborating. Like even some of the boys in the chat, like Ethan, Bisto, Bob, even the likes of Rusher and the lads, Mr. Gibbon. Like I love collaborating, and it's so fucking fun to get in with other creators and to have a bit of crack and have a bit of fun, because you create moments, man, that'll last a lifetime. Do you know what I mean? It's you and someone else's community binding together to make something. And it's why I love like having like I do a rewind every year for my stream, and there's like moments that are kind of left every year, and we have a YouTube video, and it's at the start of every stream. I love featuring just collaboration and stuff in there, man, because they're really like groundbreaking moments. Like you look at anything in history, like the likes of Ninja playing with Drake. I know that's on a massive scale, but even on a smaller scene, like Irish creators getting together to do, me and this guy are going to do this stream this weekend, it's going to be class, hop in. That's what your community wants to see, and any fucking community member in here is going to vouch for that. That, they want to see you collaborate with other creators. They're going to want to see you get involved and have fun with other people. So
yeah, I find that to be a thing though. Like it's like there's, after a certain period of time, you see streamers that are kind of around each other a lot now, and there's a lot of people there that are like, oh, I love to see these do something together. Do you know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. Like, so if in a sense, like the amount of people that like would always have said like months and months before we even came up with the podcast now, that they were like, why don't you work and do something with Gara? Would you not, blah blah blah. Gara, so it is like people see certain people gelling or bouncing off each other in a sense, and they want to see it. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing.
No, 100%. It's that really collaboration that kind of brings it all in, and everybody wants to see it. But right, here we go. I suppose that was that topic. I know it was a big one. A lot of people in chat right now are enjoying it. And look, if you're listening on Spotify, Google Podcasts, or of course you're watching on YouTube as well, hope you guys enjoyed it. Very fun topic, and it's why I want to run more community-based topics. So I really want you guys to have an input on what we talk about, and if you guys want to hear an input on it from me or Genesis, you have the option to. Every Monday or Tuesday we're going to post that poll, guys, so make sure to get active over on our social media, on the Howya podcast is what it's called, at Howya podcast over on Twitter. Shout out as well to Ethan OC for the topic. Really, really good question that I know a lot of people wanted to chat about.
I enjoyed that topic. Thanks, Ethan. Yeah,
it was very, very good. Right, so with that being said, Jenny, any final comments here about the podcast that we talked about?
So Novak Djokovic won't be winning the Australian Open. Swimming isn't the sport. Kansas City Chiefs are going to win the NFL. Coronavirus can only kill you if you're old or have underlying illnesses. And yeah, Ethan's question was very good, and I hope we answered it correctly. And big shout out to all the streamers who support each other, and not to the guys who have egos. Yeah, no, damn right, man. Shout out everybody any Irish creator that supports any other Irish creators, guys, who gets involved with collaborations. That's the shit that brings the community together, so keep it going. Right, with that being said, lads and ladies, thank you so much for joining us for today's podcast. We'll be back next week again with some more topics and some more news. Listen, thank you so much for the support. Honestly, even since the first podcast has been amazing. You guys have been super active on social media, and even talking about the podcast in different streamers' chats. It's amazing to see the support it is, and really, really appreciate the support with kind of this new project. Yeah, me and Jenny really, really do. So listen, thank you so much, guys. We appreciate you. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you all in the next one. Peace.